Christian, thank you very much indeed. Well, Great Grimsby, where we are, is a fascinating constituency, traditionally a Labour stronghold. But at the last election, the Conservatives ran Labour very close, coming within just a few hundred votes of taking the seat from Labour. Now, the Conservative candidate there, Victoria Ayling, has since defected to UKIP. So she's the UKIP candidate now. She joins us here at the Port of Grimsby. Victoria, thanks for being with us on BBC News. Immigration, how big an issue is it in Great Grimsby?
A massive issue, because although the censuses show that there actually aren't that many migrants here, we don't know, because the censuses are not always filled in by them. So EU migration has actually saturated the jobs market to such a degree locals have been displaced in jobs they traditionally had here in the processing industry, and also for services in the town as well. So it is a massive issue, and it is a massive issue around the country as well.
On immigration, you were quoted in a video as saying, send the lot back, talking about immigrants. Is that your view?
It was for the illegal immigrants, and it was twisted by the establishment press, who are terrified of UKIP winning any MPs, so they will slur all of us. It's about illegal immigrants. Those who come here fraudulently should not be allowed to stay, because it's wrong for those who are here legally, and it also sends a false message that we are open door, which we are anyway on this current government.
What about the European Union? I mean, your policy is to pull out of it. We've been talking to some of the people who run the port here, run the fishing industry here. They say it would be pretty much a disaster for Grimsby if Britain pulled out of the EU.
You've just told me, when we were having a chat beforehand, that you've spoken to a lot of fishermen who actually, and people in the fishing industry, that reckon would be better off being out of the European Union. So I think you're being a little selective on who you pick
Well,
on.
we talked to a couple of the fishing workers, they said, they think immigration's an issue and they want to pull out of the EU.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about the people who manage the fishing industry around the port. We've talked to some of them and they want to stay in the EU.
Let's look at Norway, shall we? They've got their own coastal waters back. They're outside the European Union. They employ tens of thousands in the fishing industry, like Grimsby used to. We've got 15 boats now, and a handful in the catching side. That is wrong. We can thrive outside the European Union. I can only suggest maybe the ones you spoke to are getting a lot of subsidies from the European Union, along with the BBC.
Now, you were a Conservative candidate, as we said. You defected to UKIP. I mean, can the voters be sure that if they return you as their MP, that you won't switch to another party?
I was very firm with my rejection. I don't do these things lightly. I told David Cameron to his face that he was letting the people down and lying about immigration and lying about his strength on the EU. He wants us to stay in the EU. He wants power at any cost. And I joined Nigel's party, UKIP, because I believe they've got the policies to get our country back, and we have a leader who has conviction and doesn't rely on spin.
OK, Victoria Ayling, UKIP candidate here in Great Grimsby. Thank you very much for being with us on BBC News. And